I'm so loud. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Real Time with Prince Blue, and today, I don't know, you can tell her to turn it down.
Princess, turn it down, please.
Yo, we on live, yo.
Sorry.
You messing up my flow.
Sorry.
This is Real Time with Prince Blue, and today we have a great episode today. And I know you guys are watching the game, but I figured I'd give y'all a break from it because it's really not all that exciting. These two geriatric, grumpy old men playing each other, whatever. But this is a very special episode because, as you know, we have me and the missus here have we've not reported. We've let everybody know that our son is autistic and he has superpowers, and we have been doing like hashtag Princeton Chronicles. So some of the things that he do is like so funny, and it's been a journey, and it's going to continue to be a journey. So one of the things that my wife came up with to help us cope and get advice and go through it with everybody else in the community, in the autism community, is to, you know, every now and then just give updates on what's going on with Princeton, what's going on with us, and how we're going about that. First of all, let me introduce this lovely super lady next to me. This is my queen, my wife, Taika Blue. Princeton's mom, and pretty much we just want to talk about the journey and how it's been so far, and some of the things we've encountered, and some of the things we think that others might encounter. And if they have any questions for us, then they can ask and talk about it. So that's pretty much what we're going to talk about. It's still going to be a fun show. Unfortunately, the star of the show is sleep. That's something else we're going to get into. He's asleep. He's actually asleep right now. What up, Dave? So he's not gonna he may wake up in time before we finish. So we're not gonna I know, Terry, he's asleep and he's wearing a onesie. He has a onesie on with one toe out. The boy can't stay in this onesie. So let's just get started. So we're going to talk about, well, first of all, we want to talk about some of the warning signs that we encountered with Princeton, where we just knew that, I'm not going to say something wasn't right, but something was special about our baby. So you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So just to kind of get started, like I started from the beginning. Princeton was born, I guess, quote unquote, normal. Nothing there that kind of gave us a warning sign that something was wrong. He was past his due date by 3 days. He was born in the water. I had a water birth with Princeton, and he was almost 9 pounds. Very, very long, typically developing kid. Judge your mama, but he's not vaccinated either, so that's not a factor with autism, because I've heard that people say that, you know, kids who have been vaccinated has a greater chance of having autism, and that's not the case with him. So, you know, when he was born, everything was as normal, you know, no major things, you know, only goes to the doctor for well visits, all those type of things. Princeton's also by default a vegetarian. He's not a vegan. He does at times. He does eat dairy products. So everything was as normal. When I would say that we started to notice a big difference, probably by the age of 1.5. You know, he walked at 14 months, right? He typically said mama, dad, as a normal baby would. But we started to notice, like as far as food goes, that was the first thing, that he would get obsessed with only one type of food or maybe two types of food. So like, when he was a baby, we fed him baby food. He was breastfed until he was almost 2. He ate, like he tasted pizza. Sometimes he tasted vegetables. He used to love Cheerios. But then he got into this phase where he would only eat French fries or potato products. And he loved them, loved them, loved them. He wouldn't eat anything else but potato products. And then one day he got like a stomach bug or something and he threw up and he was done with that. He wouldn't eat anything else. And then it would move on to the next one thing that he would eat, which it was like a Cliff oatmeal bar, and he would only eat that one thing. And then it went to just yogurt, where he would just eat that one thing, or Cheez-Its. And then he goes into this rotation of just eating that one thing along with chocolate almond milk only. And then other warning signs we noticed was he only liked this particular purple cup. It had to be purple and it had to have like these grooves in it that he bit into it with his teeth. And I remember one time we were out of town and either we forgot the cup, lost the cup, something happened with the cup. And we were frantically looking around for that purple cup and it had to be that cup. And he would not drink out of this new cup because it didn't have those grooves in it. So I would say those were some of the first warning signs that we had. And of course, the doctors are like, oh, some kids are just particular, just limit his screen time and everything will be okay. And, he would only say mama, dad, still at that point. And then suddenly that stopped. His language just stopped. He no longer would say mama or dad. And then as time went along, as I'm a mom, I would say, oh, I think I heard him say Go-Gurt, right?
He ain't say shit. He ain't say shit.
I heard him say Go-Gurt. I would say Princess saying Go-Gurt.
She be in there lying to the doctor. The doctor be like, how many words he can say? I'd be like, nothing. And she'd be like, I think he said this. I'd be like,
he said Go-Gurt.
He ain't said shit.
I thought he was saying Go-Gurt. He would go to the refrigerator. He would make this go sound. And to me, it sounded like
he ain't said shit.
Yogurt or Go-Gurt. But anyway, so he wouldn't talk. And he's still nonverbal. And so that's another key warning sign was that he's awful, right, Paul?
He ain't said shit. Don't be in there lying to the doctor. He said Go-Gurt. He ain't said shit. He ain't said a damn thing.
He really gets on my. I can't be serious with him. He's so awful. Okay, so that. Okay, so then the other thing that we noticed, you jump into something, not only when talking.
Okay, well, then also I noticed that he was particular about certain things. Like, he has this thing to where, like, when he was young, when he would eat, he would be like, But normally kids, if something good, you say num num num. Shit, I'm an adult. If something's good, I dance and make a noise. So he would do that. But then it started to where, like, if he's doing something and it's very repetitive, he'll make this long monotone sound. It'll be like, and that I was like, what is that? I would Google it. I Google everything. I'm like, hey, kid makes a long noise when he's concentrating. And then the first thing that popped up was autism and what's the other one? Sensory disorder. So they would say that, it's when the kid is concentrating or he's trying to get the sensory of what he's doing. And certain things he would like to do, like he would have to have certain colors, certain foods. I would have to do certain things from, like, he would like for me to put my hands in his face and squeeze his face really tight. Like, he has to have certain things. And then I just noticed that he just wouldn't talk. And I had a cousin who was autistic, and I always knew in the back of my mind that that's probably the case, but it was more, everybody kept saying 2 is the magic number. Wait. And that's what we did. And finally we took him. What happened? The pandemic happened. What?
Is there other warning signs that we've seen though?
That's the only one that's the only ones I noticed.
So like before we get to how we went and got the diagnosis, I would say, like, I know we keep harping on food, guys, but the food is a huge.
Oh, yes,
is
yes.
a huge
Like
thing.
Doritos, like he will only eat Doritos. Like y'all seen the video I tweeted out. He will climb the shelf for Doritos, and like people don't understand. Like if he didn't get it, like he would have a fit. That's how we knew like something was wrong. Is it was past the normal phase of a kid wants something, he can't get it, and he's upset.
Mm-hmm.
He would absolutely like fall out, have a full blown fit, and that's how we knew something was wrong, and we was like, we need to get him tested. I was ready, but mom, you know, she was holding out hope. She was still trying to give him time. Is no expression a sign? That's another. You know what,
Yes.
Terry? You read my mind. That was another thing. Like he wouldn't play with other. Like it can be total chaos around him, and he will be in his own world.
Right. So the lack of eye contact is a sign. So if he's in a social environment and you notice like he's talking, other people maybe talking to him like, hey, Princeton, hey, and he's completely zoned in and focused on what he is doing, whether that is on a tablet or playing with his one toy that he may want to play with that day. He could care less about what's going on around him. He's also very, very sensitive to noise. So that was huge. So like, for example, we did like 3 times, and every time we go to Disney World, we're like, Princeton, you love Mickey. And he watches Mickey Mouse all day long on repeat. And he rewinds and rewinds and rewinds. It goes back to the same part over and over and over again, even if it makes him upset. So when he doesn't like a certain noise, he immediately covers his ears. So if we're in a social environment and it's really loud, he's gonna cover his ears. He doesn't cry, he just doesn't want any parts of it. So like, for example, when I just lost track of what I was gonna say. So like having lack of social interaction with other kids. So we're, you know, we have a huge family. So we with our family members and everybody, all the other kids are playing Princeton. You're gonna find him over in the corner playing by himself. And it's not that people may look at it as being antisocial, but it's just that he doesn't interact.
My son gives 0 fucks
with others, and as Prince says, he gives 0 fucks. But I think that is another one of the signs, and the huge sign, the sign that has caused us the most heartache and scared us half to death. So much so we'll get to get back to the story. We'll get to the story. Prince had to go to the hospital. Is how bad it scared us. So as you all know, a lot of about if he has no major danger, no sense of danger, right? There's an official diagnosis for it, but I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, so like, for example, you all may have seen the video where we were working out one day at our old house. We left the garage open, and for a split second, we went in the kitchen. Princeton noticed no one was looking at him, and he went right out the garage. And luckily, a garbage truck passed by. And, you know, garbage trucks are really loud, and the noise was loud, and it immediately made him turn around and come back into the garage. We were out there within the next couple seconds. We grabbed him, but he doesn't have a sense of danger whatsoever. And so, like, if he loves outside. I mean, loves outside. And so much so, once we moved into this house, kind of similar situation. Prince was walking in the house, bringing in some things. Princeton noticed the door was open, and he went right outside, ran across the street, right? And our voices going in and out. Can y'all hear us okay?
Can y'all hear us now?
Yeah. No.
Let us know if you can hear us. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mustang.
Okay, perfect. So Princeton ran across the street at our house to our neighbor. That's how we met. Our neighbors across the street, they brought him back. So since then, of course, we have chimes on all our doors, all our windows, right? We have, so if he was to open the door, we would hear the doors open. If he unlocks the door, we hear the door is unlocked, all those type of things. We have a child lock on our sliding door and all those things, because if he has the opportunity to go out the door, he's going to go. He doesn't have any sense of danger. But if we were to call his name, Princeton, stop, I think he would, but there's no guarantee. So I'll let you tell the story about when we were at the lake house. What happened?
Okay. We went to the lake house in South Carolina, and you can go outside the slide-in porch, and there's a balcony, a patio, and then there's a door that you could lock, but it's only latched with one of those little metal hook things where you could just put the hook in, and then you could slide it out and do like that. So we let him out on the patio because he loves to be on the patio, be on his iPad, and something said like look at the patio, and I didn't see him.
But we had locked it.
We locked the patio, so I immediately ran to the patio, and immediately I saw that the latch to the patio door was taken off and it was cracked open. Let me tell you something. My heart like sank because there's nothing but water at the bottom of the patio. You can walk out to. So guess who's down near the water? He wasn't super close to the water, but he could have walked to the water. He was sitting on the rocks on his iPad watching Mickey Mouse about, I would say, 10 feet from the water. Mm-hmm. I just scooped him up, guys. I just hugged him, kissed him, ran into the house, and I ain't even tell his mom yet because I just knew like she was going to flip. And pretty much like I told her like maybe like an hour later, I like kind of like said it. I was like, yeah, we can't do the patio thing no more. And then she was like, why? And then I was like, you know why. And then she grabbed him and ran to the back of the room and was hugging him and stuff like that. But, me and I think Shantae's in here mentioned something about, superpowers with autistic children. And one of his is he's fearless. Now, some of that may be, dangerous, but all in all, he's fearless. Like he doesn't feel like he can bump, fall. Like I watched him flip over the chair. Like he likes to jump, and he literally flipped over the chair, fell over, popped up, and started smiling and did it again. Like he's tough as nails, but sometimes, we have to save him from himself. And sometimes I even get caught up in, he's a boy, he's a black man, he got to be tough. But then I also got to remember that's my baby. I got to protect him, because everybody's not going to understand his superpowers and his limits. So, that was just one of the scariest moments. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like the garbage truck thing or when he went outside to the neighbors thing didn't scare me. But the water thing scared me, number one, because, black people can't swim. But I would have been David Hasselhoff for my son. Mm-hmm. But, that one scared me the most because that would have been one of the times where, I can move a boat, I can move a mountain, but I can't swim for shit. But I would have tried. We both would have been, so that part scared me. So that's one of the things about having an autistic child you have to be aware of is their nonsense of danger. You have to sometimes save them from themselves.
And so much so, like I mentioned, he may not admit it, but that night, I think you were so worried, your heart was, it scared him half to death, and we went to the hospital.
Yeah, I forgot about that, guys. I was having pain in my chest, like it was just hurting really, really, really bad, and I was just like, something's not right. Mm-hmm. And my family was like, yeah, take your ass to the hospital. Mm-hmm. So I went to the hospital, and they said it probably was panic and the stress. Mm-hmm. Cause I was just, I'm used to holding everything inside, but the thought of possibly losing losing one of your children, like that just,
yes, for sure, we come to learn.
That just, that scared the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So, and when we go out, if we go on trips and we go to a hotel room or something like that, guys, I will put like multiple chairs, lock mechanisms. So the hotel group, but I put anything up against the door because he will try his best to get out of any locked doors. It doesn't matter where we are.
He's Houdini.
He will try. And I posted videos as we went along, like how like we would have like the child lock inside of our room.
He
so
would break it.
Out. He would break that open and go right out the room. So child locks are no match for him. You literally have to keep your eyes on Princeton 24/7.
Guys, Princeton is 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He wears a size 1 shoe, and his hand is the size of catcher's mitts. He can palm an iPhone 12 Max with no problem. So when we put these child locks on the doors, he'll look at you like what the fuck is this supposed to do? He'll chop that bitch off and go on about his business. I'm telling y'all, like he's like we have to be super vigilant with him. Mom's extra protected on me, and I am too in my own way. Like the ABA lady be here, and like I'll be trying to sneak him upstairs. Like she has to make me go upstairs. She's like, leave him down here and you go upstairs. You have all the time now to play your video game, and now you won't want to go because it's your baby. So you be wanting to be around. You be wanting to make sure they're okay. Yeah. But I also wanted to get into some of the once we found out. Let's talk about the diagnosis. How you came to terms with maybe it's time to get him checked.
Yeah. So we took him for a well visit when he was 2 to a doctor, and doctor we see or something. So we see another doctor, and she was like, "Oh, he should be fine if he's not talking. I wouldn't start speech until he's 3." And I was like, that doesn't sound right in the back of my mind. So I would always say, be your own advocate for your own child. And so, what her recommendation was to limit screen time. I'm like, okay, lady, but that's not going to get him talking any
First of all, hold on, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Why white people, always the first thing they be talking about is limit screen time?
It's awful.
Limit screen time. Don't give them the phone as much. Listen here, lady. Like, I hate that. Like, they always want to put everything on that. It's like, he was 3. It's like when you were in the military and you could be like, drill sergeant, I got AIDS. Drink water. Like, drink water does not cure everything. Take their phone away does not cure everything. But go ahead, honey. I'm sorry I went on that. Go ahead.
So that was the first time we took him to the doctor. So then we took him to the doctor when he was 2. Well, 2.5 was when is when I tried reaching out to get speech and OT myself.
And then the pandemic happened.
And so, this is literally like March, right? Right before the pandemic happened. Princeton was so 2. And so we got a speech lady. And we had a speech professional to come to our house. She evaluated Princeton, and she was planning on doing in-home speech therapy. And literally, that's when the pandemic happened. And so we could no longer get speech, and OT the same. And so we were stuck. We didn't know what to do, and we're like, okay, well, we can't get any services for him. And so then I took him to. Our doctor went out of business or whatever cases. So pediatrician. So then we went to another doctor and, expressed our concerns, and they were like, okay, we'll do an we'll send a referral for speech, occupational therapy, as well as feeding, like therapy, because as you all know, about this all the time, all he eats is just one thing. It's
crunchy.
It has to be crunchy food and chocolate almond milk. That's it. So, and also he doesn't sleep though at all. Like he's taking a nap now, but if we were not to give him melatonin, Princeton will be up until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, roaming around the house.
It used to be my schedule, remember?
Yeah, right. So for whatever reason today he took a nap late. So he does typically get melatonin every night, and that was recommended by a doctor. So anyway, when we got those referrals, we took him to. And they also gave us a referral for developmental pediatrics, right? So I would say that was around July, right around his 3-year-old birthday. And so then we got in at speech and OT. So that's weekly, right? So he does it every Friday, 1 hour each. And so then we never got in with the feeding specialist. I don't know what happened with that. Maybe they can't do that due to COVID. And so then we finally, it was like a 3-month waiting list to get him into developmental peds, which is he sees a developmental doctor who is the one who diagnosed him with autism. So that was October of 2020, right after we moved in here. So we went in because of COVID, only one parent could go. So Prince was on FaceTime. The doctor was super nice. She spent a little bit over an hour with him, doing some tests and things like that. Princeton was being his typical normal self. Getting mad because I wouldn't give him a tablet, or he wanted to draw, and when he does draw, as you all know, he wants to draw over everything. And so she did diagnose him with autism spectrum disorder at that time. And I cried, y'all. I cried because I think some of my biggest fears is I don't want people to treat my son any differently, because at some point he will have to go to school. What?
They're gonna treat him different anyway. He light skinned. Shit.
But I just don't want people to mistreat my son. And I don't know. We have no idea when he will. Doesn't curious everything. We have no idea when he will talk, or if he will talk, because that's a possibility. And so if he's not able to communicate with us, then how would we know if someone mistreated him? So that was one of my biggest fears. My other fear was that we were not going to be able to get services for him, because ABA services in our area sometimes has a 5-year long waiting list.
Not with Big Mama right here, boy.
So that was another fear. I was just all fear of all the stereotypes, like, everything he does, people just having a big label on his head. Autism. When he goes to school, he'll have an IEP, individualized education plan, teachers treating. All those fears came through my head. And, people looking at him when they talk to him, because when he's 3, so I'll tell y'all about our experience at Disney World, right? So this most recent time we went to Disney World, everybody has to wear a mask, right? So Princeton, he's not going to do anything he doesn't want to do. So they were trying to force him, when we went through initially to get screened, to wear a mask. And I'm like, he's not going to wear a mask. And the security guard, whatever he was, he kept saying he has to wear a mask or he can't come in. And I'm like, he's not going to wear a mask. He won't. He has autism. And he just looked at me with a stone face, like he could give 0 fucks. Okay, your kid can't come in because he won't wear a mask. And so like those type of things I'm fearful of. Like them trying to tell Princeton, hey, you have to wear a mask. He doesn't understand what you're saying. And you try to put it on his face, he's going to pull it right off. I mean, thankfully we got in and no other problems. Of course, he didn't wear a mask, but it's those type of situations that make me very fearful. So that was my initial thought, but thankfully, Mr. Prince Blue has retired. So all the things I know we needed to do to get him the most help that he needed, we would be able to do together, because it's a huge commitment and a lot of work involved in all the services that he needs. So what did you want to talk about?
Pretty much this, any type of services with Princeton. Oh, here he comes.
Here comes, guys.
Here he comes.
Right over here.
Princeton.
Oh,
okay. Any type of services with it requires a lot of time, a lot of driving, a lot of dedication.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird how God works, because it wouldn't have been able to work if I was still a police officer, because it just takes time. Like, to give you an example, his ABA therapist comes from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. 5 days a week. Then he has speech and OT every Friday. Mm-hmm. So you can't work 12-hour, 10-hour shift and then get up and then do that, So it just worked out that way, and it just takes a lot. And far as the label thing, I was never worried about him being labeled, because I actually want him to be labeled because I want people to understand and know that you have to have a different approach. Now, like when we're in a restaurant or something and he's having a fit, I don't expect people to be like, hey, he's autistic, that's why he's having a fit, but you ain't gonna stare at my fucking child. Like, you know how some people, like, especially people without kids who don't quite understand, they're like, they give your kid that why can't they shut up look, or why can't you shut that kid up look. Listen, they get one look, because whenever a kid does an outburst, you automatically gonna look because you're gonna want to know what's going on. That's your one look. The second look, I'm gonna ask you, do you have a problem or do you have a question? But I that's the one thing I won't say disagree with my wife, but I understand her fears. But it's okay for somebody to be like, it's not like they're labeling him a pervert or something like that. They're labeling him that he has certain needs that are different than everybody else, so you have to approach him differently. So I have absolutely no issue with them labeling him, because I want him to get the right services. We've all been there. Sometimes kids get way to the 12th grade and they're dyslexic. I still remember the episode of the Cosby Show when Theo was getting C's and D's and they couldn't understand. He got way to college and they found out Theo has been dyslexic the whole time. That's why he wasn't as smart as the other Huxtable kids. He had dyslexia. And that's why I don't mind my son being labeled, because I want him to get the best services possible. So far as labeling, I had no issue with that. So that's where I stood on that.
I think the reason why I worry also so much about it is because, so I had a background of working with children with special needs, so I see a different perspective of it, and it just really bothered me. So I had to get past my own fears based upon my own experiences and working in the field. So I would say I know God does work in mysterious ways, because in all the jobs I had, definitely knowing what ABA services are, because a lot of people are like, what is ABA? So the services that he gets that Prince is talking about, that is from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday to Friday, is, hold on, maybe here comes the superstar. Here he comes. He's sleepy, y'all. So he's going, hey son, we're talking about you. We're talking about you. Oh, okay, hold on, Princess. We'll call you. You want to say hey? Princess, you want to say hey? No? Okay. You want to just say okay. All right. He is a daddy's boy. So what ABA services are is applied behavior analysis. So, I mentioned that they typically have a 5-year wait list, is because it's usually one staff person that's dedicated to your child. And it takes a long time for them to find that person, train that person, and get them prepared for the services. So what they typically do is they come into your home and they work with the goals that you have for your child. So, for example, we have difficulty getting Princeton to brush his teeth. If we want Princeton to brush his teeth, we have to almost hold him down. Dad holds him down, and I have a toothbrush, and it's very traumatic because he wants no parts of it. He's very sensitive in that area. We have difficulty trying to potty train Princeton. We have multiple failed attempts because, number one, communication is key. So if I'm like, Princeton, go to the bathroom, he won't understand that. So we can send him on the potty. No matter what we do, he's not going to want to do it. So we need help in that area. They also, work with him with communication. So he has like this this like communication board where it has pictures of all his favorite things, and if he wants something, they want him to point at that thing. So versus him crying like he is now and us not understanding what's wrong, he would be able to point like, I need cuddles, I need love or something like that. If he wants his milk, he'll be able to point to the cups, and so that we would know he wants milk. If he wants to go outside on a trampoline, he will point to that versus him crying, and that's not understanding. So that's that's part of what ABA is. And so, Princess, get his cup out the refrigerator, please. And so, hey, Tammy. And so that's mainly what ABA is. They're in your, and so what they do is he probably has 30 goals. I mean, I may be exaggerating a little bit, but he has a lot of goals. And so they run behavior analysis on those goals. So they, try to see how many times he's able to do that goal. And over time, hopefully he's able to master it. So they just keep trying with a lot of patience and, working with him on that. So with potty training, what we've started doing is for 1 hour, he goes to the potty once every hour. So even if he sits on the potty for 50 seconds, that's great. And then we move past that. What's the matter? You want mama? No?
Nope.
You want your meal? What's wrong?
He's just still sleepy.
Okay. Meal?
He's still sleepy.
Okay.
See? Y'all getting it live. Like, right now, I don't know what's wrong. What is wrong? You don't want milk?
What's the matter? Okay. Hopefully we're able to get him calmed down soon. And so that's mainly what ABA is. So that goes into us talking about like the services, how difficult it can be to get them. So based upon our experience with trying to get ABA services, once he got the diagnosis, we got a call basically saying like, hey, we can't find any ABA services in your area that will accept your insurance. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, nobody will accept your insurance. So we have a very major insurance carrier, right? The major insurance carrier I happen to also work for full time. And so when I'm hearing them say nobody will accept your insurance, I'm like, that's funny, because I'm looking at the people that our insurance company is in network with. I don't understand why you're saying they won't accept our insurance. So the lady went back and forth with me. She was like, we can do it. We can find anybody that will accept it. Maybe you can apply for Medicaid or Medicaid and get on the wait list. I'm like, no, there is ABA providers who will accept our insurance. I was like, and I called her back and was like, hey, send referrals to this place. She was like, but they won't accept your insurance. She kept, literally, I spent all day going back and forth with this lady, her telling me what my insurance company would not do. So that's when I really say that you have to be your own advocate, because if you're not, you can sit back and just take that person's word and assume that you can't find services for your child. So just be your own advocate. Know who's in network with your insurance company, whether that's a private insurance company or a Medicaid. Know who's in network. And if you need help with that, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. So once we got past that hurdle, we found a ABA company that was able to accept our insurance, and the copay is very reasonable. And they were able to come out and, assess him and get his services started pretty much right away. So we got the diagnosis in late October, almost November. They came out, I would say like November to do the assessment. By December, he was receiving services 5 days a week, 30 hours a week. And he started out with he's still crying. I wish Prince was here to hear this part. So he started out with an awesome ABA therapist who we call Mr. Mike. Absolutely amazing. I've shared some pictures with you all of him. He had dreads, African-American male in this field. I thought that was so awesome. And he really connected with Princeton. Princeton connected with him instantly. And he was even able to get Princeton, when Princeton wants somebody to pick him up, he usually pulls at your shirt and pulls your shirt down. And that's how we know that he wants to be picked up. But Mr. Mike kept saying, and Princeton was able to say, so that to me is huge progress. And I've showed, and he's only started since December, right? So I've showed y'all pictures of Princeton in shoes. You know, him wearing shoes outside has always been a big thing. He will always take them off, and he's wearing shoes much longer too. So those are just some small things that we've noticed already with ABA. Of course, the potty training is another thing. So it's amazing. So Mr. Mike did a great job with Princeton. Percy, can you come back or?
Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay. And so real time with Tech Blue. So the unfortunate part of this whole the ABA services that has happened within the last week or so is Mr. Mike had to unfortunately leave us due to some major health concerns. So he is no longer Princeton's ABA therapist, and it was devastating. Quite honestly, I cried because Princeton was
She cried.
Princeton was so close to Mr. Mike. He connected with him instantly. It is really hard to break a child who has autism. It's really hard to break their routine. So when Mr. Mike told us that he had to leave due to health concerns, we cried. I cried. I was so sad because I was afraid of Princeton getting used to someone else. And so, sorry, here. What's wrong, son? What's the matter?
Gonna give him the full gamut.
He's such a good boy. He's such a good boy, y'all. And so that has been hard. So Mr. Mike's last day was last Thursday. And the ABA company was so awesome. They instantly got right on it and were able to find Princeton a new technician to come out. And her name is Miss Tiffany. She's African-American female. She has an 11-year-old autistic son of her own. And she's amazing too. We're so blessed to be able to find somebody so quickly. She does bubbles outside with Princeton. She does it all. So we're really happy to have her a part of our family too. So this was her first week starting with us. And Princeton seemed to, I don't know, maybe you have to walk around again.
Well, you walk them around.
Princeton seemed to really catch on with her really quickly. What's the matter with it? What's the matter with it? Mama, baby, who did it? Tell Mama who did it. Who was the one who did it?
All that damn baby talk. That's why he light skinned. See how much coddling light skinned people need? What is it? What mommy do? Can mommy do it better? Whatever. I bet you Wesley Snipes wasn't coddled. The opposite. Anyway, but ABA, one thing about it, like at first, you know, we all have our things where we're like, I can't leave y'all light skins alone because y'all need too much. Y'all high maintenance. High maintenance. But at first I was like, so pretty much we about to pay a stranger to come here and play? Like, well shit, I'm doing the wrong thing. But it's so much more that goes into it, and all the studies and analytics and theories and things that they have to do is I have a newfound respect for it. You kind of too. Auntie, that's not true. I was raised in the streets.
Y'all spoiled him rotten on Princess. I mean, sometimes I want to send him back.
I was raised in the streets. I'm trying to raise him the same way I was raised. Like, really? I had to get up like at 5 and trim the hedges.
You ain't have to do nothing. Your dad brought you everything under the sun.
Listen.
You're spoiled.
This ain't about me. It's about Princeton. But one thing that I found out about autism was it's journey. It doesn't stop. It's no cure. It's no pill. It's no, all right, you're healed. It's life. I even Shantae, she's not in here, but she was a part of a big group a group of that was talking about autism, things of that nature, and there was a police officer on, and one of the questions was, how do you deal with people when you deal with people with special needs, mainly autism? And the police officer was saying some generic answer, and then the guy that asked him was like, well, nah, that's not it. You know, he started giving them percentages and how you should approach and blah, blah. And then afterwards, I was like, yo, Shantae, like that guy was really grilling the hell out of that police officer. And she was like, yeah, he's a college professor and he's autistic. And that reminded me that you can function in society being autistic. There are some highly functional autistic superhuman beings out there that's doing their thing. And one thing also I've learned about people with autism, they never have a bad day. Well, at least it don't seem like it to me. Like they're always smiling. They never complain. They're always, you know, happy to see you or happy to do something. And when Princeton smiles or when he laughs at something, it's the best thing on earth. And that's why we continue to try to give him what he likes, because we like that emotion that he shows, and we want to keep that going for as long as possible. But like my wife was saying, the services and everything that you get, that's key. And we realize that a lot of people are either not getting the services or they don't want the services. And that's why also I wanted to touch on, and it's not just the Black community, but it's all communities, but I can only speak for my community. We have this thing to where there's nothing wrong with my son, there's nothing wrong with my daughter. I don't want people in my business, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just gonna be real, because this is real time with Prince Blue. You be wanting to be people in your business when you be wanting other types of services. And by services, I think you know what I'm talking about. Like when you want food or when you want money and all that other crap. Like you want people in your business then. But if it's something that can help your child survive, there it is, y'all. There's the noise.
I want to turn back his hair, because we've gotten, in the past, we've gotten a lot of people who gave us a hard time about my son's hair.
Well, I want to finish talking about the services.
Sorry.
Make sure you get the services that you need. It's there. It's free. All you have to do is sign up, get on the waiting list. Like, why not try to put your children in the best possible position to succeed? That's my kick on that. But my wife wanted to get into the hair. Since Princeton has been born, he's had long hair, and his hair has gotten incredibly long. It's like down to the middle of his back. And we would just let it, before we got it locked up, we would just let it do whatever it would do. And we would constantly get comments like, why don't you cut his hair? Or he's 2 years old, you're supposed to cut his hair. You're gonna why don't you cut his hair? He's 2 years old. Cut his hair. And we was like, no, his hair is an extension of who he is. He's free spirited. He likes to do different things. He likes to do a lot of things. So we wouldn't cut his hair. So finally we made the decision that we were going to lock it up, because one thing with locks is there's no locks are the same. Each lock, everybody's locks grow to the spirit of that person or the personality of that person. And at first people was like, yo, he's too young. But we decided that locking his hair was the best thing. Because number one, he's not going to let us touch his hair. I have to physically hold him to get his hair done. So that just gives you. We have to hold him to get his teeth, have his brush his teeth, and to have his hair done. And I think locking his hair was the best decision we could have made, because it really speaks to who he is and how he's going to grow as a man. And shout out to Karate Mark. He was it was a white guy. He loves his hair. He loved it. So he said he gets the power from his hair. And then my wife was like, yeah, like in the Bible. And he was like, yeah, Samson. Call him baby Samson. And since then it sticks, because that's just who he is. Everything that Princeton does is unique to him and his autistic journey. Like Terry's in here, the onesie, like he still wears onesies. He's 3 years old. Like we have to make sure we buy onesies. I mean, he busts through them all the time, but we keep buying them because that's what he loves to wear, and it's really easy, and it keeps him away from his special purpose. Because
that's what Paul was talking about. If he doesn't wear a onesie, he's gonna be all in his pants. And I know that's typical boys, but he's really
whoa.
He's really
that is not typical boys.
Grown ass men. Always in their pants if he has the opportunity. So, that's one of the reasons for the onesies. And then like he really likes really firm touches. How do I turn it on him? Mm-hmm. He likes guys, he's writing on my iPad, so he's like, but he really likes really firm squeezes and touches. So like if I was like do this to his face, like most kids like, hey, get off my face, but Princeton
matter of fact, Aunt Wayne in here, he'll like to squeeze your hand. Yeah. I remember the first time he tried to do that, he was like, he's trying to bite me. I was like, he was trying to bite Grandma. He's not trying to bite you. He's trying to squeeze your hand and let you know how he's feeling. Mm-hmm. But that's just some of the things that you get with autism. And like guys, we weren't gonna bore you with all the technical stuff, because you could read that online. We just wanted to give you our experience, how we deal with it in our journey, because everybody's journey is different. Like on the internet, they could tell you, hey, he does this and he does that, but our son doesn't do everything that's on the internet. That's why we had a hard time, because at first he had sensory disorder, because he has some things with sensory disorder, then he has something with autism. So, we were back and forth, but finally now that we got the diagnosis, and every day it's a new power. Like what's the latest one he got? He received?
He has so many. I don't know which one would be the latest one.
Well, what's some of the powers he has?
Like what the things he likes, like water, or
no sense of danger.
Right. He can run so fast.
He can run very fast. I mean, like his mom be trying to grab him, like it'd be like this much area, and she can't grab him, and she'd be like, "Come on, Prince, it's time for your diaper." He'd be like, He be giving her like that Barry Sanders juke. He's very strong. He's very light skinned. He has white teeth. He has long hair. He loves crunchy foods. Oh, and let me tell you something. Like, you can't fool him. Like, if we try to give him a cup in the dark, like, he'll know that's not his cup. Like, he'll be like, that's not the right color. Take it back downstairs. Okay, what power did he get on December 21st? What happened December 21st? Terry, what happened December 21st? You got to remind me. Oh, my aunt said, is he learning sign language? Yes. They're teaching him that at speech. He rubs his tummy now if he wants milk. So he'll be like, milk. If he wants milk, he'll rub his tummy.
But some things he just doesn't want to do. So they do try to get him to sign a lot of speech. He absolutely doesn't want to, but he will rub his tummy. So they try to get him to say more or, more.
The Black Solstice? Well, he already had his power. So on the 21st, he was pretty much looking at everybody else like, what took you so long to get yours? I already got mine. So he's had his powers for before the Black Solstice. But that's pretty much
I would say it. Some of the I guess like some things I would say, especially in the Black community, the things that people typically do say with kids who are not diagnosed, like, oh, they're just or they just bad as hell, or like type of things like that. So instead of recognizing that, hey, I wonder why my kid only eats certain things, or I wonder why my kid doesn't like to play with other kids, or I wonder why my kid isn't talking, or things like that. Just being aware of those things, like, yes, he does have very particular ways, and it may seem to some people like he's bad, but no, that's a part of his superpowers. Like, if things are not done a certain way every day, it completely sends him in sensory overload, and then he starts locking his body up. Like, you've seen multiple videos of that where he won't want to do what you want him to do, and he just completely locks up and he starts crying and all that stuff. So those are like just some of the things that if we didn't get him diagnosed, people will look and say, oh, maybe they should do this or that with their child. He's not bad. He has superpowers.
Your grandma and your aunt is in the chat, Princeton. Hi, Mom.
He's like,
Aunt Princess asked, are you two learning to sign also? Of course. Of course I'm learning. I already know how to sign though. Shut up. Nah. But pretty much they do this more. Rub the stomach more. He said up the other day. It's a learning process. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it down pat. So, but the first couple weeks or month, I guess at ABA, they want me to keep my distance because if I'm around, he won't pay attention to the ABA therapist. So I gotta pretty much stay upstairs. But we're gonna start doing some more things together once she gets him into a routine. Like now, we're gonna start next week. Every hour he has to sit on the potty, and I have to put him on the potty. So we're doing that. We'll start doing that. I did it yesterday. Like, she was so amazed how I put him on the pot. For some reason, I kid you not, I don't know if it's a boy thing. He gives the ladies so much trouble. They be like, I try to change him. I try to put him on the toilet. I just grab him, lay him down. He lays there. I change him. Or I put him on the potty. He sits there. I don't understand what it is about boys, but I guess. But it's gonna be a journey, and it's something that we're gonna embrace, and we can't wait to keep going and see what's next with Princeton. And we just wanted to share that aspect with you. Like I said, we weren't going to bore you with all the technical stuff, and we knew it was a football game and stuff like that. So we just wanted to keep it to an hour. Ma, he doesn't give you a hard time because you be on the phone. And he know he could just lay with you and you're not going to bother him. You're not going to ask him to get the remote or anything like that. So, you want to say anything?
Oh, so Acacia's asking, like, as far as being put on the wait list for assistance. So if you do run into an issue where they say, hey, we can't find a place to accept your insurance, or they do find a ABA place that will accept your insurance, but they have a wait list. So you can call yourself. You can call this place up. You can tell them you want to be added to the wait list. you can send over your child's medical information and evaluation to that place yourself and add yourself to the wait list. Or most pediatrician offices, they can help you with that process as well. So I would say just start there, like, asking the pediatrician office what can they do to help you. And if you get a lot of resistance, look at whatever insurance carrier that you have, see who's in network with them, call those places yourself and find out for yourself if they have a wait list and how long it is. Don't just stay confounded in your county. Look on other counties as well, because a lot of those therapists will travel to you too. So we're now in Cabarrus County. We were in Mecklenburg County. So Cabarrus County wait list is a little bit shorter. So just, be your own advocate. That's what I would say. That was what was most helpful to me. But there were signs, don't you think? Yeah, we talked about all of the signs in regards to like the things that we notice immediately with Princeton, as far as like food aversion, like him not wanting to eat certain foods and only sticking to one thing, lack of eye contact, lack of talking as what he's supposed to be doing at this age, and things like that. So his dad is something kind of different too. I always tell Prince, I know it's him, because so autism is genetics mainly, so it does come from genetics. So I mean, Prissy, you are very, very.
First of all, you and your brother, what y'all stuttered or some shit, like whatever.
And me and my brother both did speech, right? So yeah. So they always ask, was there any speech delay?
I was reading the Britannica when I was like 10 months old.
Right. I did go to speech until I was about in 5th grade. So I still have my
aunt has a bachelor's in English. My mother has a bachelor's in criminal justice. Let's not compare lineage here.
Okay, let's not.
Okay,
anyway,
yeah,
so
let's not do that.
Anyway, so yeah, it is genetics. So that is part of it. So we always joke, like, which side did they come from? But I would say Kristen has a combination of both of us. Like, I'm very particular about things. I'm very OCD-ish about things. And Prince is very Prince.
Y'all already know.
Yeah.
It could be raining and snowing outside. I wouldn't care. Is it raining on my couch?
I could have got you a check.
She probably did. That's why I don't get no taxes now. I probably owe that money.
But before we get ready to get off, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes for questions.
Yeah, and while we're waiting on y'all's questions, we have someone. So the other part of having a child with autism is it does seem as if we are focusing our attention a lot on Princeton, and that could be really hard for our other 2 children. They may not verbalize it, but they do kind of show, especially Princess, that she wants to have this.
Like she's in my peripheral right now, walking back and forth because I don't know why she got a new doll today, and she think that this is a YouTube channel. This is not Ryan's Toys or anything like that. Yeah. Like she doesn't understand that this is not the show for that. Yeah. But yes, I do. You do have to be careful with how you balance your time between the children, and let them know that they're all special in their unique way, and that they all get their time. Come on here, girl.
She really wants to come over here and show y'all her toys. Hold on.
Come on. See, this your right time. See, right there. Show them your doll.
Okay, tell everybody about your doll.
So I really love it so much.
Stop laughing so much. Just talk.
I really love it so much, and I act like she's a baby, and I like feeding her. And I have to like place her the diaper dry, but we're about to get set for it.
Okay, what's your baby's name? Hold her up so we can see her.
Bella.
Yeah, this is Bella, and And Mama is the grandma. You already told me I'm the grandma, and Daddy is the
I ain't
grandpa.
shit. No, I ain't.
So this
Yeah,
is Baby
that's why I
Doll.
have an issue with baby dolls, but that's another show. That's another whole different thing. Shits ain't harmless.
Oh, y'all leave my baby. So Princess wanted everybody to see her baby
Yeah.
Bella.
Yeah,
So
get that
everybody
baby
say
out
hey to
here.
Bella, which I'm really excited about because Princess typically does not like playing with baby dolls. So, yeah, anything else you want to say, baby?
Well, I got some more.
Okay,
Okay,
she
well,
has more
well,
toys.
that's it.
You're her grandma. Hold Bella.
Okay.
Okay, I'm holding.
But that's pretty much it, everybody. We appreciate
Let me
you
get Princeton.
spending the time with us. I
Can
know
we
it
turn
was
it this
gonna
way?
be hard.
When-
Well, wait. I knew it was gonna be hard. You know, the football game and stuff like that is on. Princeton right there the last time. Princeton say everybody's here for you because we're talking about you, son. Okay.
Okay.
baby.
Yeah.
Thank everybody for listening. Thank you for being here for my show when we talk about funny stuff and also when we talk about real stuff and real issues. That's what I'm going to continue doing. And thank you all for joining me. And please keep it up. Keep supporting me. Please make sure you download and subscribe to my podcast so you can listen to it anytime you want. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I have so many ideas, everybody, and I wouldn't be able to keep doing this if you wouldn't support it. Thank you for understanding. I guess my social media break when I was going through some things mentally. So I'm still not all the way back, but I will get there eventually. But it's just something I had to do just to focus more on Princeton and everything else and my own health. And thank you for understanding, because as much as I am a goofball and all that other stuff, I do go through things, and I can admit that sometimes my humor and my comedy is just a way for me to
Defense mechanism.
yeah, it's a defense mechanism. So instead of me just dealing with the issue at hand, I'd rather joke about it and laugh about it. But then when I'm by myself, I'm really in my own head. So thank you guys for understanding that. I appreciate it. Honey, you got anything to say?
Thank you guys for listening. Of course, this isn't the end of it. Princeton is really stimming. This is the term stimming. When he makes the same sound, it means that he's very stimulated. He likes what he's doing. So what he's doing right now is he has my iPad and he's drawing on it. And as you know, we don't let him have any pens or anything because he'll draw all over the wall. So he's really excited. So our plan is to eventually, hopefully, if we can, launch a YouTube channel to kind of give you all daily
you too, Kimmy.
To give you all daily updates. And if we don't, we'll just make the videos daily and post them on our social media because this is real life. And managing Princeton is hard. So we appreciate all of y'all's support. The grandparents are awesome. When they're able to come, they're here, they're with him, they give him all the love and attention that he needs, and we would not be able to do this without our village support, aunts, uncles, all those things. Cousins, godparents, like he has a whole army of people who knows exactly what he loves and make sure that he has those things. Like his godmom brought him a whole bunch of onesies for Christmas, and we greatly appreciate it, although his foot is already broke out of all of them, but we're grateful for that. When God love her, she'll buy him bags and bags and bags and bags. Or whatever he's on, whether it's Doritos, cheeses, whatever the case is. Mimi buys him all of the puzzles and things that he loves. Pop buys him whatever. We have a bunch of support, guys, and we're grateful for it. And we are so glad that you all are here listening and supporting us.
They were here listening.
Okay.
Take a breath.
Y'all have to live with this. Y'all don't feel bad for me. Y'all don't feel bad. I can never never stay mad at him because he's always, I love you. He always doing
Anyway,
something. Okay.
this has been Real Time with Prince Blue, and I appreciate you all. Thank you for listening. Hey, make sure y'all subscribe. For all y'all that be listening, y'all don't be subscribed. Shut up, Terry. Kimmy, don't start. Listen, y'all knew what y'all got into. Like, listen, like this is whole time. Oh, my girl. My nephew's autistic now, 17, but diagnosed at 3.5, and it's such a beautiful journey. You have my love and support. Thank you, Tiny. Beautiful kids you got too. Like, first of all, this is the best thing about social media is everybody in here, I've known you for at least over a decade, and to see all you look at Princeton's artwork. If you want to sell it, you can. If you want to buy it, you can get it now for 5 prices of $99.95. That's his artwork, y'all. But anyway, thank you all. I love you all. Thank you for supporting us. We're gonna go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy MLK. I know the black people is just a day off. It's the white people. I don't know what it is to you. Enjoy MLK. We're out. This is the Blues. This is Real Time Prince Blue, and we're out. See y'all. Bye. Have a good